Okay, if your sound is on, you hear the jingle, and you know what that means. It is time for yet another episode of Digging Deeper. I would love to say this is episode blankety blank, but I actually don't know which number episode this is. To my left, haven't seen him for a while, but the big Bible daddy, Frank Matz, is here. Frank, how you
Hello.
Doing good?
Yeah, doing great. Glad to be here.
Oh, I am glad that you are here. And to my right, you've seen him a little bit more recently. Andy Frye, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Tim?
I am doing well. And
AKA Birthday Boy.
Birthday boy, yes. So, listeners, if you listen to this on Wednesday night when the podcast drops, it'll be my 33rd birthday, the year of the Lord, as they call it. Jesus' year, which very morbid and somber, but here we are, being then I'm going to be 33. So, my first question to you before we get into our podcast, you got some advice for my 33rd year of life?
Well, be present. Be present with the people you have in your life, and I would say probably enjoy shampoo while you can.
Enjoy.
Use the shampoo.
All right. He said that one earlier, and it took me a second, but then I realized that
hair's
at some
fading out.
point, that's a money saver, really, losing the hair. Okay. Mr. Fry?
I think Frank's right. Be in the season you're in.
Okay.
There's good and bad. Enjoy the beauty of youth.
All right.
The fact that your knees are still functioning more or less, that's a good thing. I can tell you from experience. So
That's encouraging that you still put me in the youth category. So
I mean, you got a baby.
I do have a baby, yes.
baby.
You say enjoy the moment I'm in, and sometimes I'm like, well, the moment won't stop crying, so I don't know if I want to keep enjoying the moment. But yes, that has been wonderful. So, all right, listeners, however, you did not come here to listen to me talk about me. This week, we're going to kind of stray away from John for a little bit. The cool thing about a book like John is that there's going to be some topics that are going to come up quite a bit. So this week, the services, I believe you taught, and I taught on the calling of the first disciples. That is 100% something that we will be able to get back to here on Digging Deeper even next week. But this week, there's a certain holiday coming up that can bring some controversy amongst the church. It's Halloween. So if you
have a button.
I don't. We don't have drops yet or anything, a soundboard. Maybe that's something that we can put on our wish list.
up our game.
Maybe it's something that happens at like 300 views a week and we're not there yet. So
We're just our moms are watching right now,
just,
right?
yeah, just mom. And maybe she did that noise
Frank and I would like to thank our 4 fans out there for watching. All of you.
So if you clicked on this podcast, you most likely saw the title Halloween or Halloween. That is going to kind of be what we're discussing. We're going to talk about Halloween or the fall festival. But first off, where does Halloween rank on your guys' list of holidays? Is it near the top, near the bottom, in the irrelevant category, like maybe?
Best holiday ever. I live all year for it. No, just joking. I would probably put it toward the bottom for me.
Okay. No, there's the major holidays, so it's probably at the bottom of the major holidays.
Maybe on the low, some of the other ones for me.
Okay.
I just thought, well, I take that back. I do enjoy free candy. I'm a candy guy, and I like taking my kids so they can get candy and I can eat it all. But other than that, it's not, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's somebody at the church office that has a jar of candy year round, and so that's my free candy, so I kind of get my fix. Although I told myself no today. I walked up to the jar, I saw the Butterfingers, and I said, no. And I walked away. I was proud.
See, every time I walk through the office, she hides it, so I can't get in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you really do like Halloween because... Andy, what about you?
October 31st is great. It's Reformation Day. Martin Luther.
say that.
Yeah.
Reformation Sunday this year.
That's it. It's on a Sunday, no less. Good old Martin Luther. So I when as a kid, I think I liked it because of candy. But when I became a parent, I don't like it for a number of reasons. Very much. So personally, and just raising my kids, we didn't kill it because there are church fall festivals, and I'm okay with that. But I just downplayed it. Just tried to make it I'm with Frank. It's on the bottom, and made it as little of a big deal as possible. I love Christmas. I love Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
Valentine's
not
Day.
Halloween. Valentine's Day is a big one. Got to feel the love. So yeah.
We, my kids, when they were little, they dressed up year round. They didn't need a special day. We had a little treasure chest in the house with all the costumes. So ninja, princess, superhero. They had it all.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, listeners, some of you guys might be in 3 categories. One, wait, what do you mean Halloween's controversy? Like, you might be thinking that. It's totally fun. You are already working on your makeup for your costume. Some of you might be more where a lot of us are, and like, I get it. I get why there's certain things people don't want, but we celebrate it anyways, and it's fun. It's something to do with the family. Then there's the others that are like, man, why are you even talking about Halloween with all the demonic references or origins, maybe? So that's what we're here to talk about, is why that's the case. So Andy, you've already made one history reference today, so this is the perfect question for you. Let's unpack the history, the origin of Halloween. Origin of the word, the celebration, and then where costumes came into play.
are you what subject do you teach in school?
History.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
There was some thinking
Kinda
and
stuck
asking
with the
Andy.
history teacher. Yes.
100% reason
Yes,
why.
and maybe sitting near a former student.
Yes, I had him. And
Oh, how was he in school?
Yeah,
Be honest.
that's a different podcast. So
I will say it. I really wish I was not a great student. I wasn't a jerk, but I think I drew, and I remember one specific time, you woke me up because I had fallen asleep, and I think I did the whole like, I was praying, and you just kind of laughed and kept on going and left me with my dignity. So
He was a burnt fry.
it was a burnt fry.
I did not take advantage
toasted.
of being in a class with one of the smarter teachers at the school at the time, and I'm bummed. But I did take all my notes,
Yeah, you did.
and I still have the book that you
Yeah.
gave us. So, but anyways, let's go to Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. So there's a couple different origins for Halloween. One of the things about the Middle Ages is that the medieval churches that encountered pagan cultures had the same debate we're having, which is what is evil and what is worth redeeming. And in general, the medieval church leaned harder toward redemption. And, frankly, Christmas Day was probably not when Jesus was born, but it was the idea of redeeming basically in the middle of cold European winters. They'd had a big party, which sounds great. So they said, well, we might as well party about Jesus' birthday. And since we don't know the day anyway, why not that day? And so Halloween literally means All Hallows Day, which is a very old English way of saying All Saints Day. Part of that, of course, is the Middle Ages believed in purgatory, and then one could pray for those who'd gone before. So traditionally in Catholic, and remember all Christians in Western Europe are Catholic until 500 years ago, Reformation Day, that there's this belief that one goes to purgatory to continue the process of sanctification and thus go to heaven. And so one would typically remember the dead. You could think of it as a time to remember your grandma who you loved and pray by the grave. And so there is this association with the dead that has more to do with purgatory. Now, originally that was in the spring, but they moved it to fall, and some people think it's because Celtic people, that's Ireland, Scotland, that did have a holiday that was also connected with the dead, but was a more pagan tradition. And part of that was wearing costumes and or dressing up to scare the ghost. And it's a bit of a muddle about how all that came about, but it connected with this tradition of praying for the souls of the dead on All Hallows Eve, which is the 31st, because November 1st is All Saints Day or All Hallows Day. And kind of the weird obsession with monsters and horror movies and all that, that's more of a 20th century modern secular thing that, they're not Catholic anymore necessarily. And so, but we want to keep the fun and the party. There's a tradition in Celtic culture of baking cakes to sell, to raise money for the church, and that may be the forerunner of the sweets and the candy and the trick.
We should bring that back. Big cake sale.
Yeah, little like Easter they made hot cross buns, and so these were All Hallows cakes. So there's a bunch of stuff way back, but in the 20th century is when it took the form we see today, where it's much more secular. And of course, some people work really hard to connect it back to the Celts, although let's face it, most of us aren't Celtic. Sorry. Some of us are Irish, but it's really a lot of the stuff that freaks us out today is very much a modern secular turn on that. I was going to say Protestants tended to not like that, especially Calvinists. But on the other hand, Oliver Cromwell, who's a Calvinist, also outlawed Christmas for the same reason. So Protestants tended to react because it was too Catholic-y. And in America, the Irish were Catholic, and it's a very Irish thing. So some Protestants didn't like it was too Irish Catholic. that goes back to some of the immigrants in the 19th century.
So for those of listening on the podcast, and they've had a couple of references to Reformation Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That happened 504 years ago.
Yes, yes.
October 31st, 1517, where Martin Luther nailed the 95 Thesis on the Wittenberg Castle in Germany,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. On the chapel door, made a statement.
Save everyone a Google search. I appreciate it, because I was going to ask you guys to unpack that for the listeners. It's almost essentially the same people that added chocolate hearts and Cupid to Valentine's Day and Christmas trees to Christmas.
Yeah, Frosty the Snowman. Yeah.
They're
Trying to make a buck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of commonalities there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And real quick, back to the question I asked you guys before. Halloween, how do I feel about Halloween? Well, I have always associated it with my birthday as 4 days earlier. So the holiday itself, not the biggest fan. But, I mean, you got playoff baseball. You're in the peak of football season. Basketball this year is starting up. That's why, I love
Hockey and soccer are going full swing.
I love Halloween for everything about October. That's not Halloween. I'll ask you to Frank, and then we can maybe discuss or debate this together. Is there a spiritual debate around Halloween? And maybe we make a case why we as believers should not celebrate Halloween, and maybe why it would be okay that we do. I'll let you maybe start with one of those.
I was going to say there's definitely a debate. You see it on Facebook right now. People are calling Christians shouldn't have anything to do with Halloween. We should, decry the evils of it. We shouldn't have anything to do with evil. We shouldn't have anything to do with what the pagan start of all this stuff. And so you do have those people, and so probably the same people are saying no Christmas as well, because of where it originated and stuff. And then you have people saying, like you said earlier on at the beginning of the podcast, like, people are like full bore into it. And so I'm kind of like in the middle with it. I forgot your question, but I know you were asking about the debate within it.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you highlighted.
There is a debate in there. And it's probably going to have to go with where you were raised, what type of family you were raised in, where you line up belief wise and stuff. But
okay,
yeah.
Do you have anything to that, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's a very old debate going back hundreds of years. What parts of culture do you redeem? What parts of culture do you push away? As you come into Christianity, as a culture embraces. And so that argument is over and over. And it's as old as Paul in Corinthians talking about, okay, we got this meat offered to idols. Well, how does Paul talk about that? Well, Paul never condemns eating meat offered to idols. But he does say, look, if it bothers you in conscience, you shouldn't do it. And if it doesn't, that's okay. And he talks about the weaker brother, and he doesn't identify which one that is. But it's the one who's more offended than the other guy should respect that and show love by not saying, well, I'm going to do it my way. So there's a roadmap there for navigating these controversial issues, which they had too in their culture. Is this meat redeemable, right? Is this holiday redeemable? And so that's a very old debate. It's not new to us. It's not even new to the 20th century. It goes back a long way. And I think that there are some modern aspects of Halloween that people do celebrate evil that is abhorrent. And I know for some people, especially if that's something in your past, then you can't go near it. It's like somebody, alcohol is not forbidden in the Bible, but if you have struggled with alcohol and you can't go near it as part of your new life in Christ, then you can't go near it because it's connected to what held you in the past. And so that's really understandable. Like I said, growing up with our kids, we went to some church fall festivals, but in general, we downplayed it because it's just, I just don't want to get into that negative with my kids. It's not something I celebrate the Halloween-y stuff, but I also can see that the church throughout time has taken things in culture and flipped that for good. And so I like Frank, I'm probably in the middle. I don't think it's something I like, but I think it may be an opportunity to reach into the community and turn something for good. And that's what that idea of redeeming culture is all about in the Christian tradition.
Yeah, and I actually think you can do that by abstaining from all of it. And people are like, "Whoa, dude, you're not doing Halloween? Why not?"
Yeah.
It's a great gospel conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the going to fall family, or like our fall family
Yeah.
festival and stuff, doing the little harvest carnivals and stuff, and being a part of that. Having Reformation parties, we've done those before.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, real quick.
We could dress up in costumes as reformers.
I know we've done that. Yeah.
Real quick, a Reformation party. What's happening? Like, if you invite me to a Reformation party and I say, "What can I bring?" What am I bringing? Like,
Hammer,
what do you do?
We're gonna nail some food to a door, and then you
Yeah.
got to
Do
eat
you
it.
all nail something into the wall?
To be honest, it's really just an opportunity to get together and hang out.
That's
Yeah.
what I do all
so,
the time. Yeah. Hey.
but kids usually come in like Reformation costumes, maybe dress up like John Calvin or Martin Luther or whatever, and then you have sometimes they read the 95 Thesis at some of them. Sometimes they go over whatever theology point they want to hit up. But yeah.
And sometimes they hand candy out to people that are walking by in the street.
Yeah. Well, so there's that. So a group of my friends do that. They stand outside their house with a big fire pit, and they have like cocoa and cider and candy for people walking by. But they also give candy with a track, a gospel track to people as they walk by. So another way to witness to people and get conversations going. I just want to say that if anybody out there is like, "Oh, we want to give out candy," but now we're not going to. We're going to get a gospel track. You give out candy with it. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Well, so
You can do the best candy bars.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about in just a little bit the redemption. I mean, Fall Family Festival is a huge thing here, and so definitely I want to honor Pastor Chuck, and we want to make a push for Fall Family Festival. But until then, so you guys are saying there's this gray area with Halloween, and that essentially is okay. Like, I have some questions that I would want to ask you guys as parents. So somebody on the other side of the camera is saying, is it okay for me as a Christian? Maybe they're a new believer. Can I take my kid trick-or-treating? Like, are we allowed to dress up? You guys are...
Well, I would say those are all great questions. And
So this would be
why not?
But it would be a gray area to where, and I guess I'm maybe asking for a yes, no, or elaboration, where one Christian could come up with an answer on this extreme of Halloween, another Christian could come up with an answer on this extreme, and they essentially, neither of them are wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I was what Andy was saying about not binding the conscience. Don't do something that you don't want to do. So I think there's freedom in dressing your kid up and go trick or treating. If you want to do that, there's no harm in that. There's no harm in handing out candy.
Yeah, I think it's some people. I think we log a lot of things together. So it's Halloween, and one house is sacrificing a goat to the pagan god of woodwork, and the next house over is passing out candy to little kids and painting pumpkins.
Right.
And someone's quick to say, "Well, you're both as bad as the goat sacrificer," or what I'm hearing here, and where I would say is there's two different things happening.
Well, so I got Christian friends that even go as far as doing a hell house. So they make the scariest house that they can do and bring people in.
Ooh, haunted houses.
Yeah, haunted house, and like try to scare the bejeebers out of you and that kind of stuff.
Specifically,
and they use it,
only the bejeebers too.
Yeah.
Nothing
Or the
else.
Jesus into you. So
yeah. So, but their whole idea is like, you think this is scary? Wait till you go to hell for rejecting Jesus, and it's a whole evangelism thing. So that's another extreme people go to as far as how they're doing evangelism. So you can do it by not doing it. You can go the hell house route. You can do the trick or treat and walk around handing stuff out, or you can put a track inside of candy, or you can show up at the Fall Family Festival here and bring your families.
I mean, I think the thing to point out is there's no clear direction. There's no Halloween verse. The vast majority of Christians don't worry about Halloween because it's not even in their culture. They have other things to worry about that you don't know about because it's not in your culture. So every Christian in every culture is navigating things that are cultural and trying to figure out, how do I be a faithful witness in this culture? And the Bible's just not as big as this room to sort out every little issue. And so Christians honestly trying to read Scripture to the best of their ability are going to look at the principles in Scripture and sometimes come to a range of opinions about that. Mm-hmm. But again, Paul's guidance there about the meat and the idols in Corinthians is a wise roadmap to how do we live in those gray areas as brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. And so for me, there are things about Halloween I don't like as a Christian, and I am going to stay away from those things. So if we dressed in a costume, when the kids were 5 and it was cute, we didn't do like mass murderer costumes. Like, no, we're not doing that. We'll do a pirate. We'll do a princess. Okay,
No
we're
blood,
not
sex, gore.
We're not giving them a mask and a chainsaw because that's just a little too dark for me. And I think being aware there is a darkness to it is important.
That's a good one.
How do you navigate that? Christians are going to disagree on that, and we have to give each other grace because Paul, the one thing he does command over and over and over and over and over and over and over again is love one another. Don't be divisive. Don't argue over stupid things. Unity, unity, unity. And so what's far more important than what costume you wear or don't wear, I think, is how you treat your brothers and sisters as they navigate this cultural thing that we're trying to figure out. God's going to be much more concerned if you were unloving and judgmental towards your brother who read verses and came to an honest conclusion different than yours.
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Well said, Andy.
I really appreciate it, maybe seeing that in practice out at Rogue River. We're doing our own little fall family festival at the Rogue River community, and there's a family that was going to help out, and the mom came up to me and said, hey, I want you to know I'm praying about it. We as a family, we don't celebrate Halloween. There's other holidays that we actually don't celebrate just because of their origins. It's a conviction that we have. I just want you to know I'm praying about it. She didn't say you shouldn't do this as a church. She didn't say explain to me why you do this. She just said we want to help out, but we just got to pray about if it's gonna fall in line with our convictions. And I was
so gracious.
Yeah, and I was very thankful. And I said, hey, would it help if you kind of look at it as an outreach? That's what our heart is. And she said, that's what I'm praying on. And I said, all right, well, you let me know, and that answer is going to be respected. But no, I think that's huge that we all have convictions, and your convictions are not mine. Now, there's definitely the majors, right? Like there's the big ones. If you were sacrificing a goat to a pagan god, that's not something where I say, all right, save me some of the meat. Like we have a talk.
But of course, that's where we can have a very clear direction in the scripture. Like that
clear.
One's pretty black and white.
Yeah.
Murder, pretty clear. No.
pretty clear. There's
No. Yeah,
but
there's no gray there.
Yeah. In reality, though, the darkness of it's very real little.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Like what I'm saying is like, you don't hear about big mass murders going on and things been sacrificed.
Right. Only in Hollywood movies. Well, yeah. There are some. There
are areas,
happen,
yes, but the majority of it is families trying to navigate life and culture and getting candy or free pizzas and walking around.
So probably,
and I think that redemptive heart. I mean, I think because Jesus always points at your heart, and he says, you think you've never killed anybody, but if you hate somebody, the problem is really there, the heart. So what's the heart of your decision, right? If you choose to do a fall festival in your church, is your heart redemptive? That's great. Is your heart to conform to culture, not offend anybody? Not so great. You can do the same thing and have a bad heart or a good heart. And so, grasping those biblical principles and really seeking to honor God, God looks at the heart underneath what we do. Yeah. So, your guys who do the bonfire, their heart is to reach out. That's awesome. We have diverse, creative ways of responding to culture with the same heart, which is a heart for the gospel. So that's cool.
We always get together with our family, extended family, neighbors. Usually, depending on what it is, football game on in the background or cartoons, and people are handing out candy, having fun, talking. Like it's more of it's just an opportunity to get together and have fun.
We're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Enjoy fellowship.
No, there are a ton of those. Just an opportunity. Hey guys, this is your half birthday. Like this is an opportunity to get together.
Well, and even catch up. Even catch up with old friends.
Yeah.
If you, my father-in-law and my in-laws live on 4th Street, and so our Northwest Washington area, and they get like 1,500 kids come through there.
Yeah.
And so you get to go out there and hand out candy, and you get to see friends you ain't seen in a while, since last year probably.
Yeah.
And hang out and talk with them and their kids in a little bit.
So this might be a loaded question, and if you're just like, I'm not going to waste my time with an answer, that's fine. Jesus was here in person. What are his Halloween plans? Is he, or do we just want to skip that question?
I don't often speak for hypothetical Jesus, so
okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's the answer.
All right, Lord. We are moving on from that question.
That timing was too good.
My bad, God. We can't get it right all the time. So right.
That's why I don't speak for you. That's right there.
Well, I really appreciate
lightning
the
got a
lights.
little close.
Yeah, I appreciate the lights and not the lightning. Thank you. So, all right, moving on. I'm not going to answer that question. Fall Family Festival. Let's talk about it because, and this is just kind of a little push. I think we've been swirling around it. It's this idea of redeeming the holiday. And another question I had for you guys that's been kind of answered is where do we draw the line with celebrating secular holidays? I think the quick answer, it's all about the heart. It's about what we're doing. And I think the idea of redeeming this holiday is, for our church, the Fall Family Festival. How many times have you participated in the Fall Family Festival?
I think it's my 3rd or 4th year.
Okay. And Andy, remind me, you guys have
Not in this one.
okay,
No.
but maybe other.
other churches.
Yeah,
We've done. Well, back in the days when Redwood was Calvary, they used to do a similar thing. So our kids were little, so we were there.
Yeah.
Being part of that. It was a long time ago. So
Yeah, I love it. For lists. Oh,
I was going to say, it's just a great opportunity for a safe place for families to gather, hang out, have some fun, eat donuts, eat candy, drink cider and hot cocoa.
yeah, no logistics for you listeners. 5 to 8 on Halloween, so Sunday night, 5 to 8. I mean, it's something that the city even partners with us in allowing us to block off some of the streets. So I think it's great when kind of that can happen. Security, it is, I don't know, it's safe is literally the word that comes to my mind when I think of the Fall Family Festival, because just, I can't think of any riffraff that's ever been there because just the enjoyment level is so high. And I mean, so many, it's literally our biggest outreach of the year, I think. And as far as I'm concerned, because there is, our games have, Bible character influence and stuff. I do think every now and then there are people passing around tracts, and that's the freedom you have, I guess, of it being a public event. Maybe sometimes they can be a little too strong, but they are loving the ways that they feel led to. So I'm a big fan of this event. I think of redeeming the night. Last year was the first year I don't think I'd participated in it because we didn't have it.
We had it at Redwood last year.
At Redwood, in a smaller version. I did not go out there, and I was just
your presence was missed.
I was sad. I didn't know what to do with my night. I don't know why I didn't go to Redwood, but so Fall Family Festival, it is a lot of fun. Pastor Chuck might even need some volunteers if you're listening and want to volunteer.
Totally, yeah. If you're wanting to be a part of this and help out, we need help with setup and tear down. We're going to be Thursday morning, show up here at 8 o'clock at the church. Friday morning, show up at 8 o'clock at the church. Saturday morning, show up at 8 o'clock at the church at the downtown campus. And then Sunday after the service, we're going to feed everyone pizza. And then we're going to start putting everything together and finish it all up. And then if you can't make it because you got other plans and you got a Reformation party to go to, Monday morning at 8 o'clock, we are cleaning up and we can use your help there as well.
And
that would be All Saints Day. So all the saints that could come down and help to clean up would be appreciated.
And you can have all the extra candy that we have.
There you go.
Ooh. There's a good chance that there are people like me that just come for the pizza, but there's a spot in heaven for you too. So, all right, gentlemen. Well, those were all the questions I had centered around Halloween. I don't know if this is going to be a shorter podcast or not, but that's fine. Any last, before we get into the keep digging, maybe any resources on the Christian perspective of Halloween or Reformation Day, Martin Luther? Any last thoughts before we get there on Halloween in general?
No, this is a great Fall Family Festival is a great opportunity for you to invite your neighbors to, your friends to, those people that are not Christian to, hang out, have some fun, eat some candy. We have burgers. I think Joe's place is going to be here cooking us food.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then for 3 hours you can hang out, have fun, listen to loud music, and then go about your week.
Yeah, I think what's significant is the idea that the church needs to be in the community. And this is a classic way to do it. Because people kind of have weird ideas about church, especially people who have been in church a long time. And so here's a place where I think, as Frank said, you can invite friends who are not normally church goers, and they're going to have a good time. And they can say, hey, church people aren't normal people. They can love well. They can eat well. They can have a good time. I might be comfortable coming here on another Sunday. And that's a way to reach out because our sermon this week was about Andrew bringing Peter and come and see. This is a come and see opportunity. So see, we just tied it back into John
There
1.
it is.
Hey, real quick. So people always ask me, Frank, what are you dressing up as?
Oh, yeah?
I don't dress up. I'll be here. So if you want to find me, you can find me. But you dress up.
Yeah, I think so. I think we got. I forget what nights because Clara is not going to be at the Fall Family Festival. I think her and Rachel are actually going to stay home. But we got her a little burrito blanket, so she's going to do a little burrito. So I was going to dress up as like a Chipotle worker, but now I'll be a Chipotle worker. People just think I just got off of work and I'm heading to the Fall Family Festival. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's what I'll be. So
Okay.
All right. Are you going to be anything?
Yeah, something really scary. High school history teacher terrifies some people. So
You know, walking around with the clipboard and history book.
yeah, you know, maybe
Hand
just
out
whiteboard
grades.
marker.
Well,
Yeah.
well, our life group has a really important. Our life group is the candy distribution team this year at the Fall Family Festival. So maybe you slide in some grades with the candy. I don't know.
So find Tim.
Literally, I have the hookup for candy.
Yeah, make sure you compliment
right
him on
here.
his costume, and maybe he'll cook you up some candy.
Oh yeah, no, I'm easy. I mean, my costume, my hair, my smile, my personality. I'm
So
always looking for a compliment.
what should they do if they're paying attention to this and they watch this and they come out Sunday night to find you? What should they say to you to get free candy?
Tim, I watched Digging Deeper. Hook me up.
There you go.
And
Because
you
that tells me you watched the whole thing.
That you get triple the candy than everybody else.
That's right. So all four of
Whoa,
you
whoa,
make
whoa.
sure and come meet Tim.
Being that currently I think River Valley has a candy shortage, a poo on that, but I'm gonna give you something. I'm like, I'll give you $5 for my wallet.
We have a
No,
candy shortage?
I don't know. I
There's a
just
shortage on everything these days.
yeah.
There's not even microchips in candy. How can that be?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what though. If you listen to this and you attend Rogue River Campus, Rogue River Campus showed up as far as bringing candy. We might have more candy than downtown. Don't worry, we're gonna be bringing it to downtown after our event, but.
We get seconds. Okay.
Yeah, well, our event's literally happening first. But before we get too sidetracked, all right, keep digging. You guys endured the last 4 minutes. You got your pens, you got your paper. Whether it is something on Halloween, we've mentioned Martin Luther and Reformation. I'm sure you've only read like 60 books on him and Reformation Day. Well, that number's probably short. Yeah, let's get some resources. Let's get some reading or some listening for our audience. What do you guys got?
Well, YouTube right now has Luther 500 streaming free right now, and so does Amazon Prime.
Is that a NASCAR race?
No,
or-
Martin Luther, and 500 was the 500 year of the Reformation 4 years ago.
Yeah, big
So it's
deal.
streaming free. You can learn more about it as well. My resource, I was going to say, Tim, is to invest in some good gospel tracks, to have them around, hand them out to people, and maybe a good opportunity to put them with your candy that you're giving out
Okay, so
this week.
So, quick sidebar. Maybe a quick debate because we have the time. Tracks, you would say they're effective still in today's
Oh, yeah.
evangelism? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Andy, would you?
I have nothing against tracks.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't be.
Okay, no, I just.
Some people still do read, so you know.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to reach people. Relationships great, but it's nice to be able to hand something to somebody that they can read on their own time.
Yeah.
I think I've
so-
just seen some, and so I'm not anti-track. I think I've seen some that are a little. Somebody might read it and think, "Wow, I really wish there was somebody here to unpack what this means for me," and there's not, and so you're left to your own devices with the picture of
The
somebody.
church phone number on the back of the track.
Okay.
You're good to go.
Okay.
Church phone, or your own phone number, or Pastor Mark's email at mgoins@rivervalleycc.org.
All right.
Beautiful.
Speaking
I'm
of
going to get
resources,
this is my last podcast. I'm going to get fired.
Oh, why hasn't Frank been on the podcast for a while? Andy, you got anything for us to read?
Frank's in our Roseburg church. We don't have a Roseburg church. Exactly.
Yeah. He was given the keys to a church, but boy, is he going to be surprised.
I'm sorry. What was the
Oh, sorry. No, I was doing whatever I can before Frank gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
Resources.
I'll go Reformation because I don't have anything on Halloween. But there's a book by Alistair McGrath called Protestantism's Dangerous Idea. I think they have that right. And that's, if you want some heavy but pretty cool reading on the Reformation, that's a good one.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate it. Andy, you will definitely be back on the podcast. Frank, you too will be back on this podcast. No final thoughts?
No.
All right.
Enjoy the weekend.
All right. And maybe we'll see you at Fall Family Festival. Catch you guys later.